and welcome to my channel. Once a month I hope to share with you books that I've been reading, my thoughts and opinions on them, whether I love them, I hate them, I felt nothing about them, I was kind of indifferent about them. A little disclaimer though, my preferred genre is fantasy. Otherworldly escapades have always appealed to me, so if that doesn't interest you, then a lot of my book reviews probably won't either. I do like to read psychological thrillers, comedies and horror as well, so there should be a little bit of variety in what I'm reading and what I'm going to share with you, but not a great deal. So if none of that sort of is your thing, then probably my book reviews aren't going to be for you. Which brings me on to this month's book, which is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I will read the blurb to you. I'm going to try and give as little spoilers as possible in this review because I hate spoilers, you know, but there will be a few, so spoiler alert, there will be a few, but I'll read the blurb to you. In a kingdom by the sea, in a secret world where half-angel warriors are sworn to fight demons, parabatai is a sacred word. A parabatai is your partner in battle. A parabatai is your best friend. Parabatai can be everything to each other, but they can never fall in love. Emma Carstairs is a warrior, a shadow hunter. She lives for battle. Alongside her parabatai, Julian Blackthorne, she patrols Los Angeles, where vampires party on the Sunset Strip, and fairies, the most powerful of all supernatural creatures, teeter on the edge of war with shadow hunters. When the bodies of humans and fairies are found murdered in the same way Emma's parents were when she was a child, an uneasy alliance is formed. This is Emma's chance for revenge, and Julian's chance to get back his brother, Mark, who is being held by the fairy courts. All they have to do is solve the murders within 2 weeks, and before the murderer targets them. Their search takes Emma from sea caves full of sorcery to a dark lottery where death is dispensed, and each clue she unravels uncovers more secrets. What has Julian been hiding from her all these years? Why does Shadowhunter law forbid parabatai to fall in love? And who really killed her parents? Can she bear to know the truth? Now, if you've never heard of the Mortal Instruments series, or read them, or watched the movie, or enjoyed the TV series that's currently on Netflix, then you will have no idea what I'm talking about. So I'm going to try and fill you in a little bit. The Mortal Instruments, for me, were a highly addictive series. They're based in the modern world, but not quite as we know it. I really don't want to give too much away and too many spoilers, but shadow hunters are the balance, obviously, between the things that go bump in the night and humans who they call mundanes. The Mortal Instruments' main focus was on these two star-crossed lovers who, you know, they went through so many trials and tribulations. It was heart-wrenching, and it's safe to say that the books contain a lot of really dark, heartbreaking moments, and if you haven't read them, I implore you, please read them. They're a great series all by themselves, but also if you haven't read them, then getting into Lady Midnight will be a little bit harder, because the characters that are in Lady Midnight were originally introduced in the last book, book 6 of the Mortal Instruments. I think if you haven't read the Mortal Instruments, then you could quite easily read Lady Midnight, because Cassandra Clare does go over some of the key parts to the shadow hunters, their culture, their lore, things like that. But I do think that you'd be missing out on a lot of the little nuances that make this book quite special if you haven't read the Mortal Instruments. Cassandra Clare writes beautifully. You know, she constructs the world of the shadow hunters and the characters within it with such a finesse that I can only describe it as heartbreaking, because although I laughed and I grinned and I chuckled and I cheered, amongst all of that I mourned. Like, I truly mourned and I cried, I sobbed, because you get so attached to these people, their lives, and you know, it doesn't always work out the way that you think it's going to. She takes a lot of dark turns in this, and it's wonderful. You know, anyone who knows me knows I'm pretty butch. I don't cry at most things, but, you know, she just does it in a way that there's no coming back from it. Once I finished that series, I kind of clutched the last book to me and went, oh dear, I will never read again. Obviously I did, but, you know, I was so glad when I was wandering around a bookstore in England and all of a sudden saw Lady Midnight, having been completely out of the loop that she was even going to write a follow-up book. So I was a bit like, oh, hello, you gorgeous thing, you. And I was walking around the bookshop clutching it to me, very much like this. Mine. It's mine. I have it. I will know. I can find out what happened to them. You don't understand. Don't look at me like that. Don't judge me. So that was me walking around a bookstore because I was that pleased that I was going to find out what was happening to these wonderful people that she'd introduced briefly in the last book. But even though they weren't even in there for that long, she'd written it so well that you were like, but wait, what happens to them? Where will they go? What will they do? What's going to happen to their lives? I need to know. I'm nosy. I need to know. I need to know this. I'm invested in them now. Please tell me. So I was super, super chuffed to have found it. And it's not been a disappointment, which I am very happy about, because I was worried that maybe she couldn't follow up. I mean, she's done another book series that were based before the Mortal Instruments called The Infernal Devices, but I haven't read them yet, and I hope to read them. They are on their way, thank you. So I will hopefully get a chance to read them, but I was sort of left a little bit dubious as to whether or not Lady Midnight would kind of live up to my expectations. And it has 100%. Although Lady Midnight has a lot of the same kind of undertones that the Mortal Instruments have, you know, love, loss, revenge, I still feel that I can't bore of Claire's style. I just can't. I mean, you know, I just have one question for you, Cassandra Clare. Who in the world broke your heart? Because there is no way anyone could write so, you know, deeply, and, you know, she kind of shatters souls with the way that she describes the loss, the love, the desire to be with someone that you just can't be with, that I don't think anyone could write unless you've lived through that. So whoever hurt you, Cassandra Clare, although it was probably horrific, I almost thank them, because you have given readers something else. It was wonderful. I mean, I love it. I love it. I'm now left with, you know, that familiar ache in your chest when you want to know what's going to happen next. And luckily, Lady Midnight is going to be part of the Dark Artifices series. I have lots of trouble saying that word. Artifices? Artifices? Artifices. I have trouble with that one. So however that's pronounced, that one there, she will be doing a few more books from this, so I'm very excited. I can't wait for book 2, although I know in typical Cassandra Clare style, she will probably write it in a way that draws me all in and then kills me. Kills me really bad. But I cannot wait for the second book. So if you love fantasy and worlds full of angels, demons, love, loss, revenge, never-ending action, then I would highly recommend that you read Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I would definitely give it a 9 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 only because it has a lot of similarities to the Mortal Instruments series, which I also advise you to read. It's a great series. Hopefully you found this review helpful, and if you did, please leave me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of me, then please subscribe to my channel. I'm open to suggestions for books to read as well, so please leave some comments below, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye.